Hello, hello. This is Brian Kuh, live with a breaking news bulletin from Rise of Kingdoms. Have barbarians in the Lost Kingdom been sped up? Has there been a shadow nerf to barb chaining? Is this the beginning of the end? Or the beginning of the beginning? We'll find that out today. And I'm not actually a journalist, so I do not bring all the answers to you here. I'm hoping we can crowdsource this together. Gosu, welcome to the stream. Gosu says definitely nerfed. I believe they are different. I believe the barbs are different. They move faster and they move more often. The question is this only something that happens in the Alliance Invictus map? Or is this something that is happening on all of the new KvK maps? I would love to, in my role as a reporter, I would love to speak with someone who's playing the Tides of War map right now. And I would like to know from them whether they also think that barbarians have been sped up, move around more, and at times even ignore the AoE that you do to them. So we'll get into all of that today, along with discussing the KvK that we're in. I have many armaments that I want to open. And we'll chat all other things, Rise of Kingdoms, based on what you all in the chat would like to talk about. I will say that I'm doing better at chaining barbs today than I was yesterday. I guess this is day 3, so the first day I was having a lot of problems. Yesterday wasn't so bad. And today I don't think I've really missed any barbs yet. So it may be more of a change than a nerf. Because, you know, if the barbs move around more and if they move around faster, there is the possibility that, like, barbs will clump up more often, right? Because they're moving around more, because there's a variance to how often they move. Is this a barb here, or is this guy dead? Yeah, I think, like, so here's a perfect example right here, right? That guy was in my barb AoE. This level 42 barb on the left was in my AoE and just walked away. Just completely walked away from it. I'm actually going to go up here. This one seems a little more reliable. And so, yeah, and because everybody's complaining about this, right? This was something that really occurred unprompted. I just thought it to myself. On the first night of chaining barbs, I just thought it to myself. I was like, these barbs are different. They're leashing way more often, right? When I say leashing, I mean they're resetting. Where, like, you think you've got them and then they walk away and go back to their original starting point. I was getting leashed way more often. And then yesterday, other people in my alliance were saying the exact same thing. Like, 3 or 4 of us independently were saying that, oh yeah, this is way different. And Gosu is in the same KvK. He's saying it's different. Mr. George in the chat saying, have definitely felt that. And Seba, who's also in this KvK, says, I failed like 30 change. These homies are running so fast. They are running really fast. The barbs are moving like Carl Lewis at the Olympic Games. Sorry, I should know who the reigning I should know who the reigning 100-meter champion was, because I think it happened like 3 or 4 days ago, but I'm sorry that I do not know the reigning Olympic 100-meter champion. But welcome, everybody. Let me share this stream out in a couple of places. And we will just, we'll get going here. We'll get going. Not gonna lie, I just have so many armaments. I just really want to open them. So, like, I just had to go live. And I was gonna be chaining anyway. And so... Might as well do it live. You know, part of it is that I'm trying to do 3 or more barbs all the time. And so I'm a little bit pickier. You know, if you've watched my stream for a long time, you'll see that in the past I used to sometimes just like do 2 barbs and be fine with that. Nowadays, I'm trying to do 3. Here's like a kind of a good example, right? Like, I'm pretty sure when I walked over here, these barbs were like a little bit closer together. So essentially what happens now is that you walk somewhere where there's a bunch of barbs. And once you get there, you have to reevaluate. You have to reassess whether this is an actual clump that's worth doing because the barbs have moved so much. And some people have called this a shadow nerf. Others have said that... Well, yeah. I've heard Algebra, who's in the chat, points out that Noah Lyles is the reigning Olympic 100-meter champion. Congratulations to Noah Lyles. I'm pretty sure he's an American. Nice to have an American winning the 100 meters again after Usain Bolt was such a dominant runner for so long. So yeah, these barbs are doing their best Noah Lyles impression. But I just wonder if it's a nerf or if it's a change. That's really the question. The question is it a nerf or is it a change? And I also wonder, first, do bots barb chain? Like, is there an issue in Rise of Kingdoms with bots doing barb chaining? And if so, does this change nerf bots more than it nerfs human beings? Because, like I said, I do feel like I'm not losing out that much at this point. Like, I'm just getting better at it. Like, I'm just kind of getting better at it, you know? Because sometimes they run into you, right? Like see, these barbs here, right? Because they move so much, sometimes they just walk right into you, and you don't even have to, like, do anything. You can just, like, stay where you are. Gosu says it's a nerf. If bots are a problem, and it nerfs bots, then, like, I'm all for it. But I don't know if barb chaining is a bot problem or not. Speaking of bots, I'm gonna start a barb fort. Because I'm pretty sure there are people barb fort. I'm pretty sure that there are bots doing barb forts. And it would not shock me if there are bots doing barb forts in this KvK. Because we were going hard last night, man. We were going hard on the forts last night, and we just could not keep pace with Greenwood. Greenwood is blowing everybody out on the honor points. What I wouldn't give to have an account in 2748's main alliance so I could see what the hell is going on over there. But I'm gonna do the human efficiency maximization, and I'm going to join my barb fort on a couple of my farms. Because forts are pretty sweet. Forts are pretty sweet. Because it says they just run past you despite getting hit, but it's not that bothersome for me. Yeah, listen, I have seen them ignore my AoE, But in all honesty, it has been over 24 hours. Well, I think we just saw one of them ignore my AoE, but I haven't had like a huge issue with them ignoring my AoE at this point. Hassan, welcome to the stream. Hassan says, yo, bro, is Saladin Joan good for KvK 3? Yeah, I think Saladin Joan's good. I think Joan is the correct first cavalry commander to build. Cherry, welcome to the stream. Good to have you here. It's been a while since Cherry's been on the stream. Very nice to have her here. Hope everything's good with you, Cherry. And you're enjoying your first few days here in the Lost Kingdom. Yeah, Hassan, I think Saladin Joan is good, you know? If you can, Hassan, like, if your Saladin is only at 5551, then obviously just leave him at 5551. You do not need to max Saladin. He's a very good 5551 commander. I will show you my kills on Saladin in a moment, and I will show you that I never maxed Saladin, but I have a ton of kills on him. I have a ton of kills on Saladin. Or as Skywalker used to say, Saladin. Shout out to the ex-ROK YouTuber Skywalker OG. He was one of my favorite streamers because I would hang out in his chat and actually like talk. You know what I mean? I like the streamers where you could actually talk to them, have a full conversation and stuff. Jerry, very nice to hear that you're enjoying playing again. That's very cool. Yeah, I mean, I'm having fun. Oh, Aurora's got an Aurora has a fort going too. Let me jump into that one with at least one of my farms. And I'm gonna advertise this in the Lost Kingdom chat. There was some like actual discussions in Lost Kingdom chat on like night 1. And by discussion, I mean trash talk. But as should be a surprise to no one, this LKC has become a vast wasteland of nothingness. There's just too much hostility between the two sides, and there's a language barrier, and you know, what is there to talk about? This thing is too grimy to really have a discussion in here. Looks like Smooth Jazz, who we played against a long time ago, is in 2748 now. This was a player that we played against a long time ago. Very tough opponent. One of the original sort of wing players. He would play out on the wing, and he was just really tough to deal with out on the wing. Way back in the day. We played against Smooth Jazz years ago. In fact, I probably have a message. Nope, no chat in here. But I did try to recruit Smooth Jazz to 770. But I think he's moved around a little bit and finds himself now in 2748. Except it says Real OG has maxed Khan and Saladin. I've got the maxed Khan. I built Khan way before I built Saladin. Pro Gamer, the first fight is on August 15th. So 1 week from now, we'll be fighting against Earth Camp on August 15th. So yeah, you can see that I've got the Khan was unlocked on 2/19, and the Khan has 21,000 or 21 million kill points. Charisma, thank you for the subscription. Glad to have you here. So yeah, so Khan's got 21 million kills. The Saladin was expertised much later, like almost a year later. The Saladin was built, and the Saladin has like 50% more kills than the Khan. And I've never maxed the Saladin. The Saladin remains unmaxed. He's got 34 million kills, which is actually not that much lower than my Guan, who I still use. And, you know, it's half of what Nevsky has. I think Nevsky is my highest kill point commander. So, I mean, my Saladin put in a lot of work. I really have fond memories of Saladin. The original slow. Well, I mean, Baybars is the original slow, but Saladin's the first slow that actually mattered. Oh, I see Charisma is in the KvK. Gotcha. ETG. I think that's Earth Camp, but I'm not sure. Nope, Charisma is an ally. Alrighty, nice. Saladin, Joan, Liu, Alex, Zia, YSG for KvK3. Yeah, Hassan, that's a very interesting lineup, actually. You know, obviously the issue with this game is that, you know, if you want to do well in KvK 1 and 2, if you're like sort of like, you get interested in the game and you want to help your kingdom and stuff like that, then, you know, you want to build these early commanders in order to do well in KvK 1 and 2. And so Hassan is listing 3 commanders there, Saladin, Alex, and YSG, who would all help in KvK 1 and 2. And then he's giving like he's sort of giving some decent combos here to how to transition those commanders into KvK 3 with Saladin, Joan, Lucci, Alex, and Zug, YSG. I mean, I can't disagree with that. And I mean, if you chain a lot, I can understand expertising YSG. But if you're not somebody who chains a lot, I would actually skip YSG. I mean, the order that I would skip those 3 early commanders in Hassan would be, I would most skip Saladin, I would second most skip YSG, and I personally think it's fine to build Alex. I actually think it's totally fine to build Alex in KvK 1 or 2, use it, dominate with it, and then transition to a Lucci Alex, and then use that for a long time. And I say that as one of the few people who never built Alex, right? I've never actually built Alex. Gosu says, you guys need to win zone 5, otherwise KvK is probably over. Seba says, no show is better. We're going to win zone 5. We're going to win zone 5. I am very confident that we are going to win zone 5. Zone 5 is the least of our issues. Yep. I mean, the bottom line is there's a few bottom lines. One bottom line is we can't control the past. We have to just play the situation we're in, right? Obviously, there was obviously the stock market and the crypto market went through some ups and downs over the last week, and I did not play that well. I did not make good decisions, and I have to just move on from that. We have to move on from what happened in this matchmaking. And the reality is, our kingdom is in a very good place. We are in a very good place, right? We added, one sec, I don't want to mess up these chains. So, I mean, essentially what we did was we added Froppy to our lineup. And Froppy's a definite top 5 most important English-speaking player. And then on the Korean side, Pink and Hangman both came back. Which they're both like they're almost certainly top 5 most important players on the Korean side as well. So like we essentially added like 3 players, or re-added 3 players who are, you know, arguable top 10 most important people in the kingdom. And we've made some other improvements on the back end that are just kind of imperceptible. And as of this moment, I don't have any work next week. So, I mean, we're in a good place. We're definitely in a good place. Seba says, I saw Pei talking in Alliance chat. Really? You'll have to tell me later what account he's on. Yeah, so I mean, it's, you know, and listen, we've got Benny. You know, Benny is in the other kingdom. Like, Benny's our ally. Benny is our campmate. And it looks like the leadership of 1486 is... I'm, like, very happy with their leadership so far. Look at 2748. I mean, they just dominate the... kill board here. Yeah, Foe did not leave. Foe said he was going to leave. Foe stayed. Yeah. But you know, I'm very happy with the 1486 leadership so far, and our Koreans have always played very well when they're paired with another Korean group that is very well organized. So regardless of what happens, we're going to perform very well, and that will be enjoyable. Everybody throw a like on the stream. Helps get the word out, helps get more people in here, helps get the chat popping. I know I go on the occasional rant, but I do like to look at the chat and you know, have a little back and forth with y'all. HDT Nation. If I did not say hello, welcome. It is I. Bro forgot that I'm top 1 most important Viet player in 1770. Yep, HDT Nation is back as well. I mean, we've had a bunch of, you know, it was like a decent migration, right? It was a decent migration, but like on the high end, right? Like on the high end, getting somebody like Froppy is just great. Like getting Froppy is just a great addition for us. Because, you know, he's always on voice, and it's just great to have a rally leader who is on voice, right? Because we can just do cool shit. And I don't know if Froppy has... So here, all right, here's the barb chaining. Here's like a barb chaining spot here. It's like this 42 over here is like moving around, and this 42 could move in over here. It's entirely possible. Or they could just like run away from each other. It's very difficult. It's very difficult to do. See, now he's running away. Like sometimes they just run so friggin' far away, you know? And so what I've been doing is I've just been passing on that. I've just been passing on it. Algebra says Uni and I got some crazy upgrades as well from the last KvK. Yeah, I mean, that Algebra, those were the imperceptible changes I was discussing, right? When I mentioned the imperceptible changes, I was thinking about you and Uni and myself. I've made some imperceptible upgrades to the infrastructure as well. And actually, I just ordered a new desk. I just ordered a new desk off IKEA. It was quite expensive. If I had simply traded the crypto crash the other day better, I would have paid for the desk. That would have been a really nice feeling, right? To just like made a couple of like different decisions that would have paid for the friggin' desk, but instead that desk is gonna be right out of my pocket, right? I'm paying for it. I could have traded well, and other people would have paid for it, but instead I traded like an idiot, and I'm paying for the desk. But I did get a new desk, so that will get here tomorrow. And so I will no longer be using this Walmart plastic table for my desk. And I think I'm going to be a little more comfortable. I think I'm going to be a little comfortable at my battle station as we go through the long hours of this war. Red, welcome to the stream. Good to have you here once again. Alloys, welcome to the stream. Alloys, really happy to have you here. It's been a while, man. Very glad to have Alloys back in the hot seat as an ally. I guess maybe Allies doesn't visit the stream when he's an enemy, but when he's an ally, we're in different KvKs, he's back. So very happy to have Alloys back. Hassan says, is Liu better at 5551 or 5515? Good question, Hassan. I believe they are considered equal skills. I believe the third and fourth skills are considered equal, because I actually asked that question myself recently. And I asked that question. Oh, a peach dropping goldies? Nice. So we've got a peach from our campmates dropping a goldie in our alliance. I love that. Yes, 1 second, Hassan. Let me just get this chain if I can. This is gonna be close. Can I get another Hera? Can I get another Hera skill off? We do. We get the chain. Very good. Yeah. So Hassan, I asked that exact question because I'm in the same spot, right? Where I had, I was at 5511, and I asked which one was better, and I think Algebra said that they were equal. They're like equally good. So I just randomed into these last two skills, and I just ended up at 5551. But I don't think it matters. I actually don't think it matters. HTT Nation says, that's how I felt when I had to spend $15 on tech since I blew my entire budget on boba and McDonald's. Yeah, I mean, listen. I'm gonna pass on the Conqueror's Will. I'm gonna pass on the Conqueror's Will this KvK. You know, it's not been the greatest. It hasn't been the greatest last month financially. You know, with crypto dropping and business being a little bit slow. You know, it's you know, paying $900 for a desk definitely hurts, but hopefully that will be a desk that I use for like a decade or something like that. And yeah, hopefully I can get this Lucci done by September 3rd. The Zone 6 is open on September 3rd. And I need 260 gold heads from Lucci. So hopefully I get there. I think I'm probably going to end up slightly short. But yeah, the Lucci is what we're working on. And we are really pushing. We're just pushing gold heads. Gold heads are the #1 priority for me right now. If there was a wheel, if there's another Lucci wheel before September 3rd, that would be amazing. I do have the gems to max the wheel. Alice says, I missed a bunch of your streams. Last KvK was tough. Looking forward to being allies. Hopefully we get great fights. I think there's gonna be a lot of great fighting in this KvK. I do think there's gonna be a lot of great fighting. And you know, we just have to get out of the paradigm of like winning is like incredibly important. We might win. I think we have a chance to win. I actually think we have a decent chance of winning. You know, from my perspective, I just want to focus more on let's just play really well. Let's get even more practice being outnumbered. You know, at a certain point, I think I want, you know, my teammates to be able to like see how far we've come. You know, we've worked really hard. We've had a bunch of tough KvKs. We've gotten better. And one of these days, I would like everyone to see like how far we've progressed and how good we have gotten. And I actually think this Zone 5 is the chance to do that, right? I think this Zone 5, regardless of what happens after that, is a chance for us to be like, oh, wow, we're actually, like, very good at this game. Like, I think we're going to outplay Earth, basically. I think we're just going to simply flat out outplay Earth. And everyone's going to see that and feel good about it. And so I'm looking forward to that for sure. I'll be honest, like, Alloy's actually... I think Alloys gave like the best trash talk last KvK, because I was busy. Like there was like a 3 or 4 day stretch where I was just like very busy with work, and so I did not get to play very much. And Alloys messaged me and was like, he was just like, "Come fight us" or something like that, you know, and that's the kind of trash talk that actually like gets to me, because it's like there's truth to it, right? There's like actual truth to it. Looks like I don't have it here, but yeah, Alex just like messaged me one time. He was like, "Come fight," and I was like, "I can't. I'm working." But you know that's the trash talk that actually hits, right? The trash talk that hits is truth. Like, if someone's giving you, like, an honest criticism, that trash talk actually hits. When people are spitting just complete nonsense your way, who cares? Like, who cares? It literally rolls right off your back, you know what I mean? And I think that's what some of these, like, clown show politicians in the enemy kingdoms don't really realize, is like when you just say stuff that makes no sense whatsoever, like we don't care. Like, I get a little bit tilted because you're insulting our intelligence, but other than that, it's like it just doesn't matter. It just does not matter, you know. One of the big arguments that some of the clowns on the opposition have latched onto is that because our camp, along with fire, because we tried to make fire, wind, and Greenwood happen as a team, because we tried to make that matchup happen, we are disgraceful people who tried to rig the KvK in our favor. And as these clowns make that argument, they completely ignore the fact that at the very beginning of the matchmaking, we were offered to ally with Earth and Greenwood, and we turned that matchup down. We immediately turned it down because it would have been extremely unfair in our favor. It would have been an easy win. You know, they didn't turn those things down. Those clowns wanted that matchup. We turned it down. We're the ones who rejected the most unfair matchup. And then they turn around and call us disgraceful for wanting an unfair matchup. It just doesn't make any sense. Like, it just has no logic whatsoever. It's only logical if you ignore some of the facts. And one of the things that dishonest politicians do is they push certain themes, they push certain ideas while ignoring relevant facts that would reject their arguments, right? If they presented all the facts, their argument would be impossible to make. But they ignore certain facts in order to make the argument, and then I guess they just think people are stupid, or they think people aren't going to listen to countervailing voices, and so therefore their argument is going to work. But, you know, I mean, if you just... Again, it only bothers me because it's an insult to people's intelligence. It doesn't bother me because, like, there's any legitimacy to it. But, like, when Alloys messages me and says, like, "Hey, come fight us," I'm, you know, implying that he has not seen me on the field in a few days, I remember that months later because it was true. It was true, you know. Nothing I could do about it, but it was true. Hassan says I'm going to leave him at 5551 and try to get Huo max for SOC. Yeah, sounds like a great plan, honestly. Sounds like a great plan, actually. That is an interesting question that Hassan has, though. Like, who would you guys build first? Would you, or if you were like a newer player, would you build Huo or would you build Nevsky? Ella says Foe and Arvix are professionals at spinning things in their favor. Yeah, but professionals to who, man? Like, professionals to who? I mean, maybe to their own player base, maybe to their own community, but I just don't think they're fooling anyone in sort of the I don't know, the more sophisticated ROK community. I mean, you know, I think essentially what I've seen happen over the last few days is that, or not over the last few days, but earlier this week, is that, like, you know, basically last week I went on Dirty Dan's podcast and had like a really good discussion with, you know, a YouTuber from the enemy kingdom. I was reasonable, Dan was reasonable. We had a reasonable discussion. You know, Bus Driver made a very reasonable video about how he saw things play, how he thought things had played out. And as a YouTuber has said in the past, Bus Driver and I are competing for the intellectual YouTuber niche. And, you know, basically we're both like very reasonable people, right? We're like rational people, Bus Driver and I. And I think, you know, between the two of us, we made good arguments where, like, probably most people agree with our points of view. And what you saw a day or two later is you saw, you know, Scotty, the king of 1824, he made a post on Facebook where he, you know, revealed all of the Diplo chat. I guess he had posted this video a few days earlier, but he must have hidden it on his YouTube channel, because I went looking for it. You know, someone had said that Scotty posted the Diplo chat. I went on his YouTube channel and it was not there. And then a day or two later, I saw him make a post on Facebook where he revealed the Diplo chat. Like, after things had died down, he sort of like made this Facebook post that got like zero comments to it. And I just think the other side was like not happy with the narrative going in the other direction, because we just like made like super rational arguments. We made super duper rational arguments that anyone who took the time to listen to would generally agree with. But and so in response, a day or two later, because they did not like where the narrative was going, you saw Scotty make a post on Facebook that 0 people replied to. And you also saw a Vietnamese poster or two sort of like bring the topic back up, you know? And so, like, you know, you say that they're masters at spinning things in their favor, but I don't think they've spun this one in their favor. I just don't think they have spun this one in their favor. Steppa says Nevsky is goated. Ella says most people think they are great. I mean, I'm very hesitant to like say anything negative about Foe or Arvix, because one, like, you know, at least publicly they haven't really said anything about this situation, and B, like, they're both just like so influential in this game. Like, you know, it's just easier. It's in all honesty a little bit safer to go at people like Scotty or the King of 2975 than to go at Arvix or Pho. I mean, they're just very, very powerful. And I don't know if people saw, but 2489 did have a very, very big migration. Very, very big migration, where I think they're at some crazy number like 2.5 billion KP in their One Alliance kingdom. Popo, welcome to the stream. Marvel out here chaining. Oh, you know what I need to do? I need to refresh my bastions. I need to refresh my bastions. Yes, I did see that Pho has an account in 2293 as well. Which is good, right? I mean, that's good, because we want Pho to be busy with other KvKs. That's the other thing, right? You don't want to criticize people like Pho and Arvix because you don't want them to focus on this KvK. You don't want them to get like emotionally heated where they're gonna like you know, like hard focus and put like tons of time into this war. Abu, welcome to the stream. So Abu, the nerf is that barbs are moving around a lot more. They're moving around very quickly. It seems like they move more often and they also move faster than they used to. And so they're getting leashed more often. They're more likely to get to the edge of their range and get leashed. And Genie, thank you for the sub. Appreciate it. Yeah, basically they're just moving faster. They're moving around more often, and they're slightly more likely to ignore your AoE. Now, that all being said, yeah, it's more of a change than a nerf. To me, it's more of a change than a nerf. And I am still curious whether anybody is playing Tides, and if somebody on the Tides map notices the same thing. Like, I'm gonna come over here. Like, so look at where all these barbs are right now. Like, these two are spread out from these two. This guy's kind of close to these two. I'm gonna walk over here. It's gonna take me like a minute to get there. And like, look in a minute, in 90 seconds, how different it's gonna look. That whole situation is gonna look way different. SL Lee says, may I know the allies? Yes, I will show the allies in 1 second. Popo says, I'm on Tides, but I don't chain. Yeah, I keep forgetting to start more barb forts here. I'm almost more focused on the barb forts. Like, to be quite honest, I'm almost more focused on the barb forts than I am on the chaining. Because the barb forts, when you like join with your farms, the barb forts just give so many resources, man. They give so many resources. 33 people in the chat. Amazing. Amazing turnout. The clickbait headline worked. Great to see everybody here. Did somebody raid us or anything like that? It doesn't look like it. Great to see so many people watching. Oh, I was going to show SL Lee the allies. Yes. Okay. So here are the allies. It is basically it's here. Let me do it like this first. I should have a map, but I don't. All right, so it's basically fire. It's fire, daybreak, and wind. So red, yellow, and purple against earth, greenwood, and water. I will then show you guys the standings in honor points, etc. Honor points, I would say, shakes out roughly based on the strength of the kingdoms. It's actually pretty like consistent, or the camps. I think one could argue that Greenwood is the strongest camp. One could argue that Wind is the second strongest camp. That Earth is the third strongest. Water is the fourth strongest. Fire is the fifth strongest. And Daybreak is the sixth strongest. You could argue with these rankings, the order a little bit, but that's roughly where things stand. And so it is the first, third, and fourth strongest camps against the second, fifth, and sixth strongest camps. Now, as I say that, of course, one of the enemies will immediately say, this guy's lying, Wind is the strongest camp. We might be the strongest camp. I mean, we might be stronger than Greenwood. Like, that's fine. I mean, I'm not, you know, I'm not, you know, first and second is pretty close between Wind and Greenwood, I would say. Abu Jabara says, yeah, but it costs you 300 AP. That is true, Abu, but your farms have tons of AP. Your farm accounts have tons and tons of AP. And even a lot of mains. Even a lot of mains have a lot of KP, right? So in some ways, forts are good because they allow you to burn your KP very quickly, right? And you can burn AP on multiple cities at once. Oh, we were going to check... Okay, so wait. Okay, yes, so this is where I was, right? I was over here, right? I was going to walk over here because I was like, once I get here, it's going to look so different. I guess it doesn't look that different. It doesn't really look that different, but you can see now that they're just like very spread out where there's like there's no 3-chain here, right? But if we check back here in like 5 minutes, there might be a 3-chain. Like one of these guys might drift over here. This guy might drift down. There's possibilities. There's possibilities. SLE, which side has the upper hand? I would say the other side has the upper hand. Yeah, I'd say the other side has the upper hand. Sneaky, welcome to the stream. Sneaky says, I hope you're well. I'm on Tides and we are getting bugs on barbs that would dodge AoE, which prevents chaining efficiently. Okay, Sneaky, very good information. Appreciate that. That is the information I was looking for. We are having the same issue. We are having the same issue where they do dodge the AoE. In my experience so far, the dodging of AoE only occurs when they get leashed, right? When they are resetting to their original position, then they will dodge the AoE. But I'm not really seeing too many barbs dodge AoE like when they're not moving, right? I'm only seeing barbs dodge AoE when they move. Now here's a perfect example. Again, a perfect example of how quickly these barbs move and how much they move. I was getting ready to like move twice. I thought I'd have to move to like chain each of these, but because the barbs move so much, these 2 barbs on the right have just walked right into my AoE, and I have not had to move at all. You know, I've just not had to move at all. And so again, like it's more of a change than a nerf, in my opinion. In my opinion, it's more of a change than a nerf. But one could call it a nerf because it's just a little bit harder. You know, you gotta, you know, it's just, everything's a little bit faster. Everything's a little bit faster. So for those of you who like to, you know, maybe chain on your phone while you're watching TV or something like that, that might be a little bit more difficult because you just have to pay a bit more attention, I think. I think you have to pay a bit more attention. All right, so I am really glad that we have so many viewers on here. And it seems like you all just like to watch me chain. However, I gotta open my armaments, boys. I just have to open the armaments. I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry. I just have to open the armaments. I've got a lot of armaments to open, and you know we're gonna go to war in a week, and so I'm just gonna do that right now. Here's another example. This is the opposite example, right? In the previous chain, they moved towards me. In this chain, look, they're just running away. They're like straight up running away. So like, what am I supposed to do here? Am I supposed to risk this guy getting leashed? The thing you want to look for is once they start flickering, once the barb starts flickering, that's when they're about to get leashed. So I've not seen this barb flicker yet. And so it was safe to keep pulling it. And I did get a bit of a chain here. But just look at how much these barbs are moving around. They're just like all over the map. They're all over the map. It's a scattershot style for these new barbarians. And, you know, it's a little bit difficult. It's a little bit difficult. You have to essentially adjust. You know, you have to adjust what you're doing. Where it's like, now do I stay here and just do a 2 barb? Or do I try to pull this level 41 over to the left? I'm going to go for it. I'm going to go for it. You know, I might have walked a little too far there. I might have walked a little too far. Okay. Okay. I reset his health. Okay, interesting. I reset his health. That's surprising. You don't often reset his health, but still maintain aggro. So that is interesting. We're just trying to get this 41 in here. It's very close. Very close. Did we get him here? We got him. All right. Very nice. Yeah, the barbs are just like... They are just like... This one ain't for me, man. I don't want to die. I don't want to die. I want to mosey on over to this this tree. I want to mosey on over to these snowy pine trees. Mosey on over to the level 5 wood node. Whatever it may be, you know, the barbs are just like... Oh, and look at this. We get the spawn. We get the spawn right where we are. It's like an arcade game, you know? Barb chaining used to be a cozy game, and now barb chaining is an arcade game. And because I'm not paying attention, I just did a two chain here. I was feeling myself with the 4 or 5 chain over here, and so I messed up and did a 2 chain here. Can we really spread our wings here and grab this 43? Can we go for it? Worst case scenario, I try to see the flicker. Yeah, I'm not seeing this guy flicker yet. I'm not seeing this barb flicker yet, so I think we're going to grab this guy. There it is. Popo said that 42 is... Look, Popo, you said a few minutes ago, Popo, that you don't chain, and now you're trying to make calls in the chat about what's too far. This one probably was too far. This one probably was too far over here, but I grabbed this guy. Can I grab this guy? Nah, I'm not gonna go for that. Sneaky says chaining is already painful, but Lilith trying to make it a nightmare. I don't know. I don't find it that much worse. Because they move around more, so like there's just like the possibility for them to clump up more. I mean, Sneaky, when we fought you guys, we were on the Siege of Orleans map, right? Siege of Orleans to me was like on Siege of Orleans, the barbs were like more spread out and less likely to clump up than they were on other maps. And so, you know, you can say these changes make barb chaining harder, but I would rather chain in these conditions where barbs will actually clump up than play on something like Siege of Orleans where like they would just never clump. They would never ever clump. SLE says coaches don't play. Mecha says, Brian, how much money should be spent to get the avatar? I don't think very much. Did HDT get the avatar? I feel like I saw HDT with the avatar. Maybe not. Maybe not. I don't think it's very much. I'm really not sure how much, but I don't think it's too much. I mean, Luigi got it. I would bet it's something like 50 bucks, maybe. I'm really not sure. I'm really not sure. All right, so I'm gonna do one more clump, and then I'm gonna open the armaments. 50 is the answer. Okay. Your starting zone was also very large compared to ours. Maybe that played a role in barb spread. Well, like where I really noticed it, actually, Sneaky, I noticed it in a different KvK. I noticed it in the Orleans I played it before that one where we won, and I noticed it in like the zone 6s, and I even did a stream or two where I showed like how spread out all the barbs were. Bro, I can't do armaments when this juicy clump is right here. Oh my gosh, how do I want to go for this whole thing? Let's go for the whole thing. Let's go for the whole thing for the content. It's 50 bucks, but they must be in Flux scripts. Okay, they must be in Flux scripts. Only Farmer, welcome to the stream. Glad to have you here. Jagadish, welcome to the stream. Amazing. Amazing how many people are watching this. This is fantastic. You know, for just a straight up barb chaining stream, I'm loving the activity here. All right, so let me pop these boosts. Let me pop the resource boosts. Let me start a barb fort. Let me start a barb fort. Oh my gosh. All right, we're just gonna do a few minutes of very, very productive play here. Start the barb fort. Join on farm number 1. There we go. Join on farm number 1. Wait, why is it? Wait, what? Oh, there we go. Join on farm number 2. There we go. And let's do this chain. Do you guys think I can do this whole thing? You guys think I can do this whole thing here? Where do I start? I'm going to start here, I guess. And maybe I'll clip the 41. Maybe I'll clip the 41, maybe not. All right, I'm trying to lock in here. I'm trying to lock in. The thing is, I want this 42. I need to get to this 42. So if the 41 is... If I lose the 41, then it is what it is. But I need to get this 42. The 42 ignored me. Look, did you see that? Look. Did you guys just see that? That 42 ignored me. The 42 got hit, and it ignored the AoE. All right, I need to get over to the 42. I'm a little bit lazy here. Come on, gotta get over. Okay, got him, I think. I got him. All right, we're in business. Here's the gap. The 48 to 46 gap is pretty big, but I think we can do it. Gosu says it's a nerf, but I still got that barb. He ignored me once, but I still got him. So, like, is it that big of a nerf? Is it really a nerf? Is it really a nerf if I still got him? All right, now here's the gap. Here's the gap towards, here's the gap to victory right here. The 45 is getting closer to us, so I think we can just get this no problem. You see that the 45 is still moving around, still getting closer. Again, is it a nerf or is it a chain? Because when they move so much, you can grab them more often. We're going for this big chain. We're going for this big chain here. A lot of value here if we can get the whole thing. Trying to watch the chat, but I just don't want to mess this up. And the double C Hera does kill barbs very quickly. Very quickly. Even on day 3 of the KvK, the double C Hera March with the best in slot cavalry gear and plenty of awakened upgrades, it does kill barbs very quickly. So it just flickered. Like, I don't know if you noticed, it was very imperceptible, but it felt to me like this barb on the left did flicker a little bit there, which means it's sort of like near the end of its leash. But we hop along Cassidy over to the next barb, and it's a little bit comfy here. This is a comfy spot here. We should be able to get these next 3 barbs, no problem. I posited in the thumbnail that there may have been a nerf to the barbs, but I may be crapping on my own point here as I get a monster chain here in the start zone, the Lost Kingdom start zone, but getting a bunch of high-level barbs. Level 48, level 49. I think there might have been a level 46 in here somewhere. And then now this spot gets a little tough. It's a little tough. I'm going to start moving now because I do need to get over to this 48. I want to kill the yellow health one first. This guy's over here, but he was over here, so I think we can pull over to this 48. I think we can pull over to the 48. I've got a max Terra. I've got a max Terra SLE. Yep. By the way, I do apologize that the chat is not up on my live stream. There was an update to OBS. I decided to do the OBS update, and the chat just doesn't display very well. It's a really janky stream, display of the chat. So I gotta work on that later. I probably should not have upgraded. Now, are we getting this thing? Okay, I gotta move. Oh, come on. Oh my god. Get it. All right, we got it. I mean, the double C Hera just kills stuff so quick that you really only have like 3 or 4 AoEs in order to grab the next barb. But so far so good. This might be the very last challenge that we have here. I'm gonna move a little bit. I might have needed to move a little bit more. I need to move a little bit more. Okay, I think we're all right. Yep, we're good. Ace says, how does a curio work? I actually don't know. I think you can use like any troop type in a rally or a garrison. But I'm not exactly sure. All right, so I think we're going to get this whole chain. Pretty freaking good, actually. Only Farmer says she doesn't really see a change with the barbs. I mean, I think they're faster. I think they move faster, and I think they do dodge. I think they do dodge the occasional AoE. And it's like so many people have noticed a difference that I just feel like I feel like there is a change. I really do feel like there is a change. Just based on the fact that I have felt a change myself, and then so many other people said that there was a change as well. But I don't think it's like that. I don't think it makes chaining that much worse. I just think you have to pay a little bit more attention. Abu says, remove barb damage armaments on him, but barb damage reduction. Yeah, I mean, this guy, like, as the KvK goes on, he's, like, not going to die at all, and I will have to remove some gear. But yeah, that is what I should do, is I should just, like, add more barb reduction to him. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, like, in general, I actually sort of prefer the Zug Richard for barb chaining. Just because, like, I'm not always paying this close of attention while I chain. And so the Zug Richard being, like, a bit of a slower killer is kind of nice. But, like, for situations like we had here with this long chain, it was nice to have the double C. Because, like, when you pay attention with the double C, it's, like, really nice control. Really, really nice control. Alright, so we need to move over. We need to finish this thing off here. There we go. I think we're gonna... The 47 is moving away, but we got him. We got the whole chain there. That's pretty sweet. GW Game says the nerf has been a slow roll over the last 18 months. That's interesting. ROK Farm says, it's a bad sign when they start nerfing barb chaining. Yeah, I don't think they should nerf barb chaining. Like, I just don't think that's a good thing to nerf at all. In fact, I think it's a very bad thing to nerf because it's just like it's really like the only thing about this game that allows you to like live inside this world like the whole day, right? Like when you're in Lost Kingdom, if you want to, you can just live on the map all day. You could spend 16 hours a day playing this game, which is how most MMOs are, right? Like in most MMOs, you can literally play it all day long. ROK really doesn't have that many ways to play it all day long, and barb chaining is the only one. Barb chaining and war, right? When you're at war, you can play all day, and when there's viable barb chaining, you can play all day. But if you remove barb chaining, or make it like annoying where like less people do it, then there's going to be less people who just like spend all day playing the game. And, you know, I just think as like a lifelong gamer, as someone who's played a lot of MMOs, like there just has to be a, you want those people. Like you want the people who are going to play the game all day. Like, yeah, it might cost you like, you know, on a short-term basis, it might cost you a little bit of money because a player like me, if I couldn't barb chain, I might spend a little bit more money. But in the long run, there's just like a lot of value to having people in the game all day, chatting all day, showing their status online all day. Here, let me show that report. Let me show that report. That's it? I thought it was more than this. I thought it was more than this. This can't be right. It was more than this, right? A 9-minute chain. We did a 9-minute chain there. I guess that's all it was. I don't know. Oh no, here we go. Here we go. It was a 13 chain. It was a 13 chain. That sounds about right. That sounds about right. A 13 chain here. Very solid 13 chain here from the Double C Hera. A lot of higher level barbs here as well. Actually, see, this is not accurate. Oh no, it went in reverse. This was the end of the chain. The end of the chain was down here, and this was the start of the chain. Okay. Only Farmer says Curio goes on the secondary commander, and then any other troop type changes. And then any other troop type changes to the troop type of the secondary commander. Okay, so like if you're running a Justinian Nevsky rally and you put the Curio on the Nevsky, then anything that joins that rally changes to cavalry. Okay, yeah, okay. That's what I figured it was. GW Games says the days of chaining 10 or more barbs are the exception now. Yeah, GW Games, I actually understand what you're saying. I understand what you're saying about this being a slow roll over the last 18 months. Because they have reduced the amount of clumping, right? Like, barbs clump up less often than they used to. You know, now it's like if you see like 3 barbs clumped together, you're like, that's gold, Jerry. Gold. So yeah, they have reduced clumping for a while now. And then if they're also speeding up the barbs and making the barbs move more often and leash more often, then that's also like a slight nerf. A Pixter says, did they actually speed them up? I think they're faster. I think they're faster. A lot of people are saying they move faster. If they don't move faster, then they move more often. But I kind of think it's both. I actually kind of think it's both. I think they move faster and they move more often. All right, everybody throw a like on the stream. We're going to slow it down a little bit now. We're going to slow it down a little bit. Here, let me start another Barb Fort rally. The clicking never stops in Lost Kingdom. I mean, I have just been clicking away in this Lost Kingdom whenever I'm online. There's never a chance to slow down. You're just clicking the whole time. There's always something to do, always something to click, even if it is just to refresh your bastions and get better quests. All right, but here's what we're gonna do. Here's what we're gonna do. Oh, see, click these. Click the Mysterious Merchant. I've been trying to open armaments for about 20 minutes now. I still haven't gotten to it. But we're going to slow it down a little bit. First things first. We So this is what's interesting. So I want to awaken this, but it doesn't give, like, level 3 doesn't give a big boost. I'm just gonna awaken this anyway. This might be like slightly suboptimal because it's gonna take me some time to buy another one of these Horns of Fury. But I'm going to awaken this now. I'm going to awaken this horn. I'm going to put it to 3. I'm going to awaken this horn and put it to 3. So I need 50. I need 50 of these for the next one. All right, so we're up to 3 here. Level 3 doesn't do much, but level 4 is super good. Level 4 is 3% damage for rallied armies or garrisons, which is super useful for me as a rally and garrison leader. So now the question is, how many materials do I have left? How many materials do I have left? So let me take a look at this. I have 86 materials left. Okay, I have 86 materials left, and I need 50 for the next horn. But I'm going to have time before that next horn. So I think I have roughly 50 or 60... I have roughly 50 or 60 of these to work with. I have roughly 50 or 60 materials to work with. Now here is the question. I will give... Chat, I'm going to give you a very simple question. I can do one of two things. I can bring my Shiho's Return all the way to tier 5. I can bring the Shiho's Return all the way to tier 5, which will give me something like 10% more march speed. Because it's not critted. So it'll give me 10% more march speed on my Gorgo Lucci march, right? I'm going to be running Gorgo Lucci as one of my 2 infantry marches. The gear is not great, but it is what it is. Oops, 1 second. Let's pretend for a second that this is the gear that's going to be on the Gorgo Lucci. So I can do one of two things. I can tier 5 awaken the Shiho's Returns and get 10% march speed. 10% march speed on Gorgo Lucci, or I can finish my archer set. I can finish my six-piece archer set, which would give me 5% archer health, plus whatever is better about, plus like another like 3% on this, right? Or maybe 2% more. So do I take 7% of stats for archers, or do I take 10% of march speed on the Gorgo Lucci? 7% archer stats versus 10% march speed Gorgo LC. Because the Gorgo LC is like very slow. The Gorgo LC is very, very slow. And I can iconic this also. I'll be able to iconic the, I can iconic the tassels as well. Because I feel like the Gorgo Lucci being a bit faster is like super helpful actually. Yeah, this is what I can forge right here. This. Let's see. Popo says archers. SLE says archers. Pineapple says archers. Seba says Gorgo LC. Popo says switch the LC. Yeah, I mean, I might put the best gear on. I might put the best gear on the I mean, yeah, see what I can do is I can put the I can put the 4-piece set on. See, but the thing is, the set is the boots. See, here's the problem, Popo. If I put the set on the Gorgo LC, then I get the 10% march speed from the set, but then I can't put the Shiho's return boots on it. Which I guess is an argument for the archers, huh? I guess that's an argument for the archers. I don't have Alex. I don't have Alex, Abu. One thing I want to check is if there's any march speed on the support skills. I feel like there wasn't any like infantry march speed here. Queen Tamar skill is like really good, by the way. 10% normal damage plus a debuff that reduces attack by 30%. Pretty freaking good. Yeah, no march speed in the start zone here. How much does the set piece cost? How much does the set piece cost? How many materials? It costs 60. Yeah, this costs more too. Like, that's the thing. This costs more materials. The problem with building this is that, like, I might not have enough to build the horn as soon as I get it. Because this will put me down to 26. This will put me down to 26 materials, and I need 50 for the horn. So, like, will I get, like, 24 materials in a short amount of time? It's tough, man, because I have to get that horn right away. I have to get the horn right away. What's screwing me is that I forgot to do Golden Kingdom. What's legit screwing me is that I forgot to do Golden Kingdom. How many materials can I buy from the shop? I guess I could buy a lot of materials from the shop if I really needed to, right? I can buy like 4. So this is like 1 legendary right here. This is like 4 legendaries here. So I could buy like 5 legendary materials per week in the shop if I really need to. And that would get me there. That would definitely get me there. So, all right, I'll build the archers. I'll build the archers. Did you do egg? I don't think we have egg, do we? I did. I'm not. Oh, we do have egg. We do have egg. Interesting. Well, I was saving my gems for a wheel. I was saving my gems for a Lucci wheel, but I guess I could do a little bit of an egg. All right, I'm gonna do the archer. Let's build the archer right now. You know, we've got a bunch of people on here. We got 43 people watching. People love to see equipment get forged. We don't forge equipment nearly as much as we used to. But we're gonna do it right here. I'm gonna throw some whale emojis in the chat. Seba, help me out with the whale emojis. I need to act like a whale here. Whales get the crits. I want to be a whale. Please let my chat accuse me of being a whale. Seba is counter. Seba is counter mushing me here with the sad emojis. We just crit an imp boots. Let's see if you have my luck today. I'm gonna turn the music up. I'm gonna pump up the jams for this. Let's freaking go here. Dragon's Breath Tacits. Yeah. Yeah. All right. But at least we can iconic it. At least we can iconic it. There we go. We've got the 9 iconic crystals. So set is complete. We can't equip it because the Zoog is outside of the city. Hopefully I have something for this. I don't. All right. I do need to buy this right now, so just like give me 1 second and let me I mean, I would normally do a flux script, but I'm not going to go buy a flux script right now. I'm going to throw up a little blocker here. And let me go ahead and buy this Vanquisher bundle. Please stand by. Make sure it's blocked. Make sure this is blocked. I do miss the days of the giant Richard on Chiskel's stream when he was buying stuff. Nowadays we normally have flux scripts, but obviously I'm out right now. Purchase failed. Alright, so 1 second, sorry about that. Not sure why the purchase failed, but let me try a different card. Please just chat amongst yourselves. I actually forgot that I forgot to factor in the I forgot to factor in the 4 legendaries I'm going to get here. There we go. All right. Okay. So that was my Chisel Richard right there. Seba, I'm not buying you. I'm not buying you anything, man. You mushed me right there. You mushed me with the sad faces, bro. I'm not a whale. I'm not a whale, boys. I lost all my money to the crypto crash this week. I'm a broke joke now. Although crypto is pumping hard today, which is nice. All right, now we are going to start opening armaments. So if I were super smart, I might wait because I actually don't know if I'm going to run. I don't know if I'm going to run Wedge or Arch on my Eleanor. But I need more wedges. I need more wedge stuff. So yeah, I need more wedge stuff, so I'm just gonna open wedge. I'm gonna open wedge today. Because I don't know, man. It's weird. It's like I went arch formation early on. And you know, I've got a really nice arch set for cavalry. But part of me thinks that Eleanor is just going to be better on wedge. And of course, Justinian is better on wedge. Justinian is way better on wedge. And so even though I made like a good decision to like build arch before like it was cool, I don't know how like great it is for me personally. All right, so we get oh, not bad. I'll lock that legendary. Joseph says flip-flopping Wedge and Arch will be bad for legendary inscription pity system. Just stick with one before you regret later. Yeah, I mean, flip-flopping is not great. But at the same time, because I flip-flopped to this point, I kind of saved myself, right? Like, I mean, maybe I should have just gone wedge from the very beginning. I think I'm just going to stick with wedge, honestly. Like, I just think I'm going to stick with wedge. I'm a cavalry player. I think that wedge is just going to be better for cavalry. It's nice that I have some arch stuff for, you know, whatever. It's tough, though, man. It's honestly tough. I don't want to, like... It's very tough to say, because... Obviously, as a garrison, you want to have as much anti-swarm as possible. But it's just very hard for me to figure out how much counterattack damage you actually get from, like, boosting your normal attack damage. Because, so like, I'm boosting my normal attack damage by 5% here, by another 3% here, that's 8.5%. Another 3% here, that's 11.5%. And then when I get the, if I get the invincible, that's going to boost it by another 12%. So, like, when it's all said and done with Arch Formation, I'm going to be boosting my normal attack damage by 24%, roughly. So with Arch Formation, I'm boosting my normal attack damage by 24%. Let me ask you all this. If I'm boosting my normal damage by 24%, does that mean that I'm also increasing my counterattack damage by 24%? I'll ask this in the chat. Does 1% normal damage equal 1% counterattack damage? Do I have that correct? Because 24% counterattack damage to me is not amazing. Like, I don't think 24% counterattack damage is really enough to do the formation that is suboptimal for your troop type. You know, because you're not getting a ton of normal attack on a lot of these. Like, you're only getting 3.5, although you're getting more from the proc. Steven, thank you for subscribing. Algebra says you will lose the 1v1 hard if you choose to go Arch on Cav garrisons. I mean, I feel like I've been fairly robust against Swarm. But Algebra, do you know if that's right? That 1% normal damage means 1% counterattack damage? If I'm only boosting in a best case scenario, I'm only boosting by like 25% counterattack damage. I don't think that's that much. I really don't think that's that much. Like I'm just gonna look real quick. Like, what kind of counterattack damage did Anna have last KvK? Oh, we can't see him anymore. So it's 25% counterattack damage, or I go wedge and make like all my marches better. Yeah, I think I just go wedge. Steven says, what's the best Cav march? I would say the best Cav march is Nevsky Joan. I was going to say Nevsky Joan is the best Cav march, but I would probably build Huo I would build Joan first, and then I would probably build Huo before Nevsky. I just think Huo has like more longevity than Nevsky does, because Nevsky's just like all stats, whereas Huo has like some very good skills. Yeah, I'm gonna go wedge. I'm going wedge. I'm a wedge player now. I'm now a wedge player. I'm a wedge player. I'm a wedge player. It is what it is. It is what it is. Hopefully we get something good here. I'm gonna go through these pretty quickly. But hopefully we get something that we can work with. Actually, I will show you guys, here, I'm gonna... Actually, I don't mind showing these. I just don't care. If the enemy gets this information, it just doesn't matter. Here, here's sort of like what I'm working with as far as in armaments go. I sketched out like what the value of some of my different sets are right now. And then down here is what I really need. Like I need a Cav instrument slot. I need a Cav banner slot. I need an Archer emblem slot. I need a Cav arch instrument slot as well. And then I need two Cav instruments pretty bad, right? And this is sort of where I'm at right now. Like my Nevsky open field is 41%. My Cav arch garrison is 42%. My wedge is higher. My wedge is actually higher. And then my infantry wedge is behind my infantry arch. You know, which is fine because you want good arch on the Lucci and stuff. So anyway, we're looking for wedge in the two lower slots, basically. We need good wedge stuff in the emblem and banner slots. Nothing there. Sunny says, "Yo, I can join any alliance in my new kingdom. Should I join number 1?" Yeah, definitely join as big of an alliance as you can. I'm 10 days deep with 1.5 million. Yeah, that's solid. That's solid, Sunny. That's solid. John Bald, I am in Kingdom 770. So, didn't get a whole lot from the blues, but did get one decent one. Did get one decent legendary. Now we head into the purples. Boba says, would be nice if inscriptions were just auto-calculated into the specific stats they benefited. Yeah, I guess. I mean, I kind of like the calculation. So, like, I love the theory crafting of armaments. You know, obviously on my channel over the years, I've spent a lot of time talking about armaments, theory crafting armaments. To me, it's the only part of the game that actually is theory craftable for the most part. So I personally think the armament system is good. But I will tell you that, like, just from talking to Chisgul, like, a little bit, like, he's very much, like, he's, like, really against armaments. Like, he really does not like this system. And obviously there was that, like, meetup, the ROK meetup in Los Angeles recently. And if you watched Chisgul's video about it, you heard that, like, he took like an Uber back to the hotel with the CEO of Lilith, so he got to talk to him for like another extra 20 minutes or whatever. And you know, I sort of wish that Chisgul was not so against armaments. Did the music stop? Oh no, it's picking up. I wish that Chisgul was not so against armaments because I don't know. To me, the system is like pretty good, man. I feel like they're sort of on the right track with armaments, where it's like a skill-based. It's like it takes skill. It takes skill to like make the correct decisions with armaments, and you know, whales don't have like a straightforward advantage like they did with. I'm gonna lock this. I don't know why. I'm just locking it because I wanted to lock something today. You know, whales don't have like a straightforward advantage with armaments like they do with the Awakening system. Where the Awakening system was literally just like a giveaway to whales. It was like, oh, you have all these blueprints and you have all of these materials saved up. We're just going to create a system where you can just like immediately dump all your blueprints and all your materials and you'll get better. And I would really hate it if Lilith went in the direction of more awakening type systems rather than more armament type systems. Because I just find that there's way more to talk about when it comes to armaments. But nothing in these 10 here. Yeah, Bubba, I agree. I agree that armaments should be throughout the game. I think people should be able to start, you know, that would be a good way to make the new player transition a little bit better. Okay, so there is our first legendary inscription. Not a whole lot else here to check. It's in the scroll slot, so not the most exciting, but let's take a look at what we've got here on this legendary inscription. Warcry is good. 3.5% attack. Stats no good. I'm gonna lock it just in case, but not great. Not a great pull here. Not a great pull. Ghost says bad thing about armaments is that 2 of the legendary inscriptions they give you are the most overpowered stats based on RNG. Just recently got one from Travel. He should be happy. Yeah, he did get a very good one. Yeah. Yeah, Boba, I mean, I think your suggestion to have armaments exist at the very beginning of the game is a good one for sure. That's definitely a good suggestion. That's like a pretty obvious way to make the new player transition a bit better. So we're not pulling too many legendaries so far. Nothing good on this one. Very bad stats on this emblem slot here. So nothing yet, nothing yet. We're just gonna keep opening them though. We're gonna keep going wedge. All right. Let's see what we've got here. I'm not even gonna lock this. I'm not even gonna lock this. And nothing on this one as well. The banner giving nothing as far as stats go. We're still looking for something. We're looking for something usable here out of all of these armaments that we're opening. 3 legendaries. 3 legendaries. No inscriptions, though. Still only 1 legendary inscription out of all of this stuff that we're pulling. Nothing on that one. Nothing on that one. I mean, it's a 3 slot infantry, but I just don't think there's any way this is... I just know this is not good enough for me. I know it's not good enough. I'm going to lock it just in case, but I know there's no way this is good enough. Oh man, you're going to regret this if they ever release Smite Cav? Nah, I don't think so. I don't think so. Because it's not like they're going to release Smite Cav, Garrison, and Rally. And I've already got a good Cav Arch set. Like, listen, I flip-flopped. I'm doing the jack of all trades thing. I'm just doing the jack of all trades thing, but I've always been a jack of all trades type of player. Always. Yeah, because like Ghost, the thing is, right? Like in this KvK, in like the war we're about to fight in 1 week, I literally do not know if I should be running Arch Formation Cav Garrison or Wedge Formation Arch Garrison. Like, I literally don't know which one I'm going to use. So, like, it's good that I have that flexibility. I'm glad that I have that flexibility. Because, like, I mean, Algebra went all in on Wedge, and Algebra has like a bit less of flexibility now, where he may not have like the new infantry rally because he doesn't have an arch set. So I think there is value to flip-flopping. It makes you like less strong, obviously, but it gives you flexibility. And the smaller your kingdom, the more you want flexibility. All right, we're on to the legendaries now. We've got 25 legendaries. Haven't really pulled anything yet. Have not really pulled anything yet. All right, here we go. I'm looking for a double inscription. It has been a long, long time since we got a double inscription on the stream. I would like for today to be the day. Ooh, no inscriptions at all. No inscriptions at all. Do we have any good stats? Triple statted infantry, but bad rolls. Archer Tech 3.2, I mean, I guess I'll lock this one. I don't even know why I'm locking it, but I'm just locking it. Boba's saying that as a KvK1 whale, the new migration chains make sense for newer players, as allow commander resets when you get sculptures back. Yeah, I think the commander resets is a great idea. Great idea. Commander resets is a great idea. They should definitely do it. Alrighty, so nothing there. 15 left. 15 legendaries left. It's been a disappointing session so far, but there's always a chance. There is always a chance. A single inscription. Still no double. Man, it has been a long time since I got a double inscription. A long, long, long time. I'm not sure that I've ever gotten a double inscription for Wedge, but this is possible. I mean, this is the emblem slot with an inscription. Give me something good. This can save the entire session right here. If there's something good here, this can save the entire session. Give me the good stuff. It deals 2%, 2.5% more counterattack, which is not bad, but I feel like I have a bunch of these already. I feel like I already have a bunch of these. And the stats are terrible. So that's pretty disappointing. We'll take a look at it afterwards to see if I already have one of these, but I kind of feel like I do. All right, last five here. Last five here. Last five. Nothing. Nothing. Wow. Wow. Pretty disappointing session here. Not gonna lie. It went so fast, and so little happened. But there you go. There you go. I just want to see really quickly, like, if I recycled everything, how many would I get? I'd get 39. Would that be enough to buy anything? No, okay. Yeah, so let's quickly take a look at that resistant one in the emblem slot, right? Oh my gosh, I have so many of these. I should really recycle more of these, right? Actually, I got this yesterday. I got this yesterday from a dispatch quest. I got the Hardy 3.5% on this. So this looks like very rollable. Like, this looks very rollable to me, right? This is what I just got, the Resistant. I've got Enduring already. See, I already have the Enduring, which deals 3% more counterattack. Resistant only deals 2.5% more counterattack. And I've already gotten a Resistant. I should honestly unlock one of these two, right? I should unlock this too. This is ridiculous. I'm never gonna use this. I should unlock this. I'm never gonna use this. And let me. Which one of these do I want to unlock? I want to unlock this one. Yeah, I appreciate the rips and the Fs in the chat. I appreciate you guys mirroring my actual emotions. I'm just going to roll this once. I'm going to, well, okay, let me look at this real quick. Let me look at my... Let me look at what I have for cavalry. Yeah, so here's what was tough, right? Like, I have this thing is really good. This focus fire one's really good. These other ones are, like, kind of decent. Like, this gives 6.1, 8.1. This gives 8.7% of stats. And so for Hardy to, catch up, like, it's going to take a lot of good rolls. Like, for the 3.5 that you get from the inscription here, to catch up to the 8.7% of stats you have here, it's going to take, like, a lot of rolls. It's going to take a lot of friggin' rolls. But obviously, like, at a certain point, it's going to be good. And there's nothing else I can roll in this slot, so, like... How much is this? This is 2.6, 3.3, 5.6, 7.4. Even this purple is 7.4. So for Hardy to get there is going to take a lot. But let's just transmute it once, just to see. Let's just transmute it once to see. Alright, let's just transmute it one more time. Let's transmute it one more time, just to see. Alright. I mean... Alright, 3% health. 3% health here. We probably will lock this for the next time we do this. But we're not going to do it now. We're gonna roll this stuff on a different stream. I have not really prepped, like, where I need to put these transmutation stones yet. I have not figured out where I want to put the transmutation crystals. So we're going to do that on a different stream. And I will also say, if there's anybody in my alliance who wants to... if there's someone in my alliance who wants to do their armament openings on stream, I would be happy to do that. I think I'm going to message... I'm not sure if Froppy opened all his, but Froppy had a ton. So I'm going to message him and see if he wants to open on stream or anything like that. But if anybody else wants to have me open on stream, I can absolutely do that. I can jump on your account and open it that way. But that is that as far as the armaments go. Kind of a bummer. Kind of a bummer, not going to lie. I mean, between all of the stuff that I rolled today, between the equipment that I crafted, the armaments that I opened, probably the best thing that happened was that 3% cav roll right there. That's probably the best thing that happened, actually. You know? Like, it's probably the best thing that happened is that 3% cav roll. Because it's like if I roll one more thing on this, it's still not the best. It's still not my best piece, but it's still not the best piece, but one second. Yeah, how much stats is this piece worth here? So this is worth 5.5% plus. So this thing is worth like 10.5% plus the march speed. Nobesis, can you do an allies and enemies scout on KP and power and how many accounts and alliances? Yeah, no, I can show you that right now. I'll show you that right now. Now, our enemies are going to say that this is a flawed stat because, like, the map, we added up a couple of the, One second. Yeah, so we added up the math wrong on a couple of these. Like the total is wrong on Greenwood, and the total is wrong on Fire. And so I believe our enemies will say that these numbers are inaccurate because the totals are wrong. But you can just like look at, you don't have to look at the totals. You can look at like an individual camp. So yeah, it's basically this. And let me circle the two teams. So the good guys are Wind, Fire, and Daybreak. And the enemies are... Oops. Sorry, my... I'm not at an Asmongold level of MS Paint yet. And then the enemies are here in red, earth, greenwood, and water. So yeah, that's the way it looks. I mean, it's not. Listen, it's statistically wise. I think we've seen many KvKs that are more imbalanced than this. I think where it starts to get a little bit tough is just zone 6. Like it's just a tough road for us, right? Because our enemies are down here and over here, and we're gonna be up over here in zone 6, and they're gonna have like this whole center area. The two enemy camps will be in the center. Our allies will be over here, and then we'll be over here. I mean, I say it's tough for us. Quite frankly, I think it's going to be tough for Daybreak. I mean, this is just going to be an interesting zone, right? I think that the planners are going to have a field day with this zone. It'll be a very interesting zone, but like, the enemy obviously has an edge here. And then even if we like hold both of our passes, even if we do well in this zone and hold both of our passes, then we'll go into KL and the enemy will have this pass, and this pass, and we'll be over here. Which, then puts us in a potentially tough spot in Kingsland as well. So that's kind of how it looks. But, it's not... everyone has like somewhat near the same KP. The enemy camps do have a lot more whales than us, right? We have more power, they have more whales. So it just depends on what matters more, whales or power. I would argue that for the most part, it's been whales that are more impactful on the game. Nobi says you guys should be able to fort hold your own KL passes and hope Fire deals with Earth. Yep. I think that's I think it's that sort of thing, right? It's that sort of situation. We definitely need Fire to definitely have like a very good KvK. And I think Fire can have a good KvK for sure. I mean, I know that honor doesn't really mean anything, but like Fire is in first place in honor, which just sort of, it does show that they probably have the most players. I think this does show that Fire has the most players. And so that's, that's definitely cool. Somehow I got onto Alliance chat. I should turn on streamer mode. I should turn on streamer mode. Because I'm pretty sure I have it. I'm pretty sure I have it. I do. And do markers also not get shown? Oh, markers still get shown, so I have to like turn off both, huh? Oh, I screwed up. I'm gonna go for this one, but it's gonna be rough. Oh my god, this guy's walking away now. Because this is Fire Camp Barb Chains a lot. I mean, I don't even know if that's chaining. I don't even know, because the thing is, like, their players are not really... I mean, it's so early. Like, you can't really tell... You can't really tell who's chaining and who's 5 marching right now. Because, like, I'm chaining. Obviously, I'm, like, chaining a lot. So... But I'm in, like, 95th, you know? I'm not really, like... It doesn't look like I'm pushing hard, but I've actually have chained quite a bit. And what else is there to say? I mean, we could talk about William Wallace a little bit, because the reports have been coming in with William Wallace, and I would say they're mediocre. I would say the William Wallace reports are mediocre. They're not bad though. They're not bad. But I just think that, like, if you already have Lucci Alex, or you already have Gorgo Lucci, or you just have the one infantry march with Lucci Scipio, I think the conclusion to draw is that William Wallace is such a minor upgrade. It's such a minor upgrade to what you already have that he's probably not worth building in that case. If all you're doing is, like, upgrading one of your marches, then it's not worth it, right? But if you have, like, let's say you have, let's say you're, like, kind of an infantry player. Oh my gosh, what did I just do? Why did I let this guy go? That was so stupid right there. New Jacka City, welcome to the stream. Glad to have you here. I think if you're, I think if you have, like, one infantry march and one set of infantry gear, then Wallace, like, doesn't make any sense, right? He doesn't make any sense. But let's say you have, like, let's say you're, like, an infantry garrison and you already have Lucci Scipio. I think what you could do is you could build, I mean, and you also have Gorgo, right? You also have Gorgo. I think in that case, what you could do is you could you could build Wallace and then run, like, Wallace Gorgo and continue running Lucci Scipio, right? Like, I think he's a good addition if you have, like, 3 viable infantry commanders. But that's a very, like, that doesn't happen that's, like, very few people. That's very few people in this game. Because most people either have one infantry march with Lucci Scipio, or they have 2 marches with, you know, Guan Scipio and Lucci whoever. And in that case, it's a little bit tough to upgrade to the Wallace, right? The only question with Wallace is whether he's going to be good in a rally with either Scipio or Lucci. I did watch a Big Kane video last night where he tested Scipio rallies against various garrisons. And I think the most relevant conclusion was that Scipio Tariq and Scipio Lucci did better than Scipio Wallace. So that makes me think that Wallace is, like, not that great in rallies. The only question is Wallace's anti-swarm better than the anti-swarm of Tariq, Lucci, and or Scipio? Emilianus. Let me call him Emilianus. So let's, like, quickly look at the anti-swarm of Wallace. What anti-swarm does this person have? He's got 30% attack. He's got, so far, the only anti-swarm he has is 30% attack. He's got 10% normal attack. Okay. So I'm pretty sure one attack. I'm pretty sure that 1% attack equals 1% counterattack. I might be wrong on that. Am I right about that? Does 1% attack equal 1% counterattack? I think it does. I'm pretty sure 1% attack equals 1% counterattack. So he's got the 10% normal damage and 30% attack. And he's got like a dispel. So okay, so he's got 40%. He's got 40% counterattack damage. Basically, is the anti-swarm that this person has. Let's compare that. Let's compare that to these other commanders, right? Let's compare that. So here's Emilianus. Nothing here. Nothing here. He's got 5% normal attack damage. And he's got a dispel. He's got a dispel and he's got some damage reduction. Which damage reduction is not it's not counterattack, but it's at least it's tankiness, which is nice to have in a rally. But so far this guy's got a 5% counterattack, and that's it. That's it. Here he's got nothing. He's got nothing as far as anti-swarm. And again, so the problem with Emilianus is that this guy has no anti-swarm. I mean, this guy just has no anti-swarm. And that is just a huge problem. And so the question then becomes like, because I feel like Lu Chi has a lot of anti-swarm, if I'm not wrong. I feel like Lu Chi has a lot of anti-swarm, but let's take a look. Here's just skill damage reduction. Here he's got 20%, right? Got 20% counterattack. Here's another 10%. So that's like 30% counterattack. So he has more, he has like a bit more damage mitigation than Wallace has. But Wallace actually does have a slightly more counter attack damage than Lu Chi does. And I don't really even need to look, but I can basically tell you that Tariq has almost none and is like not very tanky. Okay, so Tariq does have 40% attack. Damage mitigation there. And then he does a little bit of extra damage when he's surrounded. So like, so when I'm looking at these, when I'm just looking at these skills, what I'm seeing is that like the anti-swarm of Tariq, Wallace, and Lu Chi is basically the same. I would say maybe Lu Chi is like slightly better because he's got like a good bit of like damage mitigation. And just because I've swarmed a Lu Chi in the past, you know, I've swarmed like Chadsky's like Attila Lu Chi rallies and stuff. And it definitely hurt. But like ultimately the anti-swarm on all of these guys is just not that good. Like the bottom line is that the anti-swarm on Attila is better. The anti-swarm on Zug is better because Zug does like a lot of AoE. And Zug also gets he gets attack, by the way. He also gets attack, right? It's a proc, but Zug can get attack. Peaking at 50% attack that lasts for 3 seconds. And then Asher, because of Asher's AoE, you know, and then Henry has counterattack, and then Asher has let's see exactly what Asher has. Where's my Asher? There's too many bearded archers, man. Do I not have Asher built yet? Oh, I never got Asher. Okay. What does Asher have? Asher has 20% attack. He has an AoE. He's got like a nice little AoE nuke. And then he can also get 30% attack here, or deal more 20% more skill damage. So again, like even Asher is in like the range of the best infantry commanders as far as anti-swarm. And you know, I don't know, man. I mean, you know, Kane's results. What Kane's results were was that like, Emilianus and smite damage does very good against Eleanor garrisons. And I think the last time he tested against an Eleanor garrison, Gorgo Lucci did very well against it. I have some questions about the quality of the Eleanor garrison that Kingdom 1981 is testing with. And I know that there was some issue with their last set of tests that Algebra called out. So, like, it would really bug me if, as a Cav garrison, it would bother me if Scipio is good against my garrison. But I think that is still to be determined, because I just don't think that Ark of Osiris tests are the best at this point. When there's been, like, several wars where Eleanor has done pretty well. I feel like Ark is not the best test at this point. From what I have heard from the 1079 KvK, I heard basically two things. I heard, number one, that the Eleanor garrisons did do well. Let me see if I can show you a couple of reports. Let me show you a couple of Eleanor reports. Yeah, here's a good one. Yeah, so here's Manny from 1079 with the Eleanor Hera garrison. Manny is on Wedge. Here. There was some swarm. There was swarm here. This garrison did lose, right? This garrison is down to 0, right? But a nice trade against the rally, a decent trade against the rally, and actually did well against swarm, which is interesting. That's interesting to me, right? That being said, the other thing I did here, and I'll just show you a different report. Just why not? Like, obviously this is a silly report because the rally doesn't get reinforced and it gets run down to nothing. But that's another Eleanor report. And then I can also show you. I mean, this is one report that Eli shared with me that was actually a loss for the Eleanor. But again, it died. The garrison died here. Not a ton of swarm. And it actually did lose to the Asher Henry here. The Eleanor did lose to the Asher Henry here. This is Eli's Eleanor on Hollow Square. Not great gear. Not a great gear on Eli's Eleanor. But Eli was basically saying that Eleanor was very good overall. I mean, it destroyed Tariq Bakal, but I mean, what kind of a test is that, really? I don't know. I'm not sure about Eleanor yet. I mean, I'm banking on her, but I'm just not sure. And the other thing that I heard in the 1079 KvK is that people, once KL opened and Emilianus was available, what I heard is that people were mainly running Scipio rallies. Like, once this guy became available, he was the main rally that people were sending. And I think that's pretty interesting, but I just think you can swarm this guy, man. I just don't think there's a world where you can't swarm this guy. And if you can swarm the Skippy, if you can swarm the meta infantry rally, then I think Eleanor does well enough against archer rallies that she's going to be pretty good. Because I just think the anti-swarm on archers is actually better than the anti-swarm on infantry. And I basically come back to like my original hypothesis, which was that Lucci Wallace might be the best infantry rally because it has more anti-swarm. Now, I don't know, because I don't know that the trades against the garrison are going to be that good. And maybe it'll be Wallace primary, I'm not sure. But I do wonder if Lucci Wallace is going to be the infantry rally that we end up seeing. I'm just not sure. From a damage perspective, in Kane's tests, in his Ark of Osiris tests, the infantry rally that did the best was, like, just in terms of trade, just in terms of straight up trade, what did the best was Scipio Tariq. Scipio Tariq did the best. And I mean, it's not as squishy as like Justinian Nevsky. And the other thing that made me, so the fact that Scipio Tariq did good, or did well, the fact that Scipio Tariq did somewhat well made me wonder if Algebra on his wedge set could build Scipio and then run, you know, like Tariq Scipio, or maybe even run Scipio primary and do pretty well with a wedge set. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. This is, I thought general consensus was Eleanor is weak versus Swarm. I mean, the thing is, Gosu, I just don't know yet, man. Like, I just haven't seen enough tests. I mean, I think she's going to be somewhat weak versus Swarm. So look, I mean, I think that infantry garrisons are still best, right? That's my sense. My sense is that Gorgo Hera is still the best garrison. But I think Eleanor will do better against archer rallies than Gorgo Hera will do. I don't know, Kane's tests were just so janky. Because Scipio is supposed to counter Gorgo. Like, that's the thing that Algebra keeps saying, is that Scipio is a Gorgo counter. And yet some of the tests are showing that Scipio does better against Eleanor. So I don't know. I don't know. We'll find out. We'll find out in a week. I mean, I should have answers to these things, right? Because, like, you know, one of our... Eli just had a war. Eli just had, like, a big war. And one of our main players, one of our main, like, strategists, he was in the 1093-960 KvK. So he can literally tell me how much Eleanor got used in Kingsland in 1093 versus 960. I think they mainly did use Gorgo Hera. You know, I think 1093 mainly used Gorgo Hera. And from what I saw, 960 was mostly running archer rallies. And so us cavalry players are just once again in a situation where we're like, what is our role? What is our role? But Eleanor did get a lot of work. Eleanor got a lot of work in the 1079 KvK. They used a lot of freaking Eleanor, so... And they were up against, like, a pretty good kingdom. They were up against Omniarch's kingdom, which has, like, 7 or 8 stars, so... Yeah, I don't know. I'll be curious to see. Curious to see what happens. Let me fire off another rally. Have we been doing rallies this whole time? Oh, let me jump in. Let me jump in that guy's rally real quick on my farms. Let me boost him up. Let me boost him. There you go, buddy. There you go, buddy. And let me start up one of my own rallies. What am I doing right now? Oh, wait. What am I doing? I'm like chaining. Are we watching a barb ignore me right now? Yes. This is the, yeah. Well, anyway. I think I just got lucky. I think this barb ignored me and went back to its original spot, and that will allow me to actually triple chain this one. I'm basically, what am I excited for about this war? I'm excited to have a new desk. I'm excited to have a new desk, which I think will be more comfortable. My goal, I'm excited to get a lot of sleep before it starts and like sort of be at my best. I'm excited to have a bunch of people on voice chat. I would like for us to have more people on voice chat than we have in the past. You know, I'd like to see us play well. And I want to make less mistakes, man. I took the last 2 KvKs I've been in, I've taken so many open field deads. I took so many open field deads in our last war. I think I took over 400,000 open field deads, which is just like crazy. That's a crazy, crazy number. And I actually feel it now, right? Like I'm only at 80 million power. And so so like another 200,000 troops would like be really nice, to be honest. It'd be nice to have another 200k troops as a bit of a cushion. So I just would like to go, I would like to go a war where I don't make a bunch of dumb mistakes. And look, it's because I'm doing a lot of things at once that those mistakes get made. But I think I can like slow down a little bit. Slow down a little bit, try to do less. And avoid the big mistakes. But man, there is just so much you can do in a war. Like when war is actually happening, there's so many things you can do. You know, all the stuff you can do on your farms. All the stuff you can do coordinating other people. You know, be a garrison, but also fight in the open field. For people who have played StarCraft in the past, well, I never played it a lot, but I was a Zerg player. When I played StarCraft, I was a Zerg player. And what it always felt like to me when I played StarCraft was that as a Zerg player, I was just like thinking in a macro way. I was not micromanaging a single march. I was just sort of like throwing stuff in different directions and trying to like overwhelm my opponent. Whereas like the Protoss and Terran players, they were being more precise in what they did, and they were like using each of their units a little bit more effectively or a little more perfectly than I was using all of my little Zerglings. And you can micromanage in this game. You can micromanage and make fewer mistakes and be very efficient with what you have. But you can also Zerg the F out of people. You can also Zerg the F out of people and just do a ton of stuff. And win that way as well. And I'm not quite sure, like, which... I don't know. I don't know if I want to just keep going full Zerg, or if I want to, like, dial back the Zerging and make fewer mistakes. Sneaky says, we just had our KL, and Eleanor didn't do too well on either side. In 1v1 scenarios like passes, she trades very well, though. That is disappointing. That is disappointing to hear. Man, that is really disappointing to hear. Because it's starting to feel that way, you know? It's starting to feel that way a little bit. I mean, I'll test it. I'll test it. I mean, passes, she does trade well in passes, but passes to me are just like not... I can't remember the last time that 1770 had an important pass battle. It's literally been years. It's been years since we had a pass battle that was important. So, I mean, there might be important pass battles in this KvK, but that's very niche. Being great in Ark of Osiris and doing pass battles is just like very, very niche. And I know you guys do lean on cab garrisons, right? You've got like Levitz's cab garrison that you used like a ton. Yeah. AG, welcome to the stream. Glad to have you here. Yeah, she's good in Ark. That's kind of why I built her. Like, instead of just waiting a little bit longer to build her, I was just like, I know I'm going to build her because like I play Ark every 2 weeks and like I'm, you know, pretty serious about Ark. So I know I'm going to build her. I might as well build her, but... I mean, yeah, but the thing is, Sneaky, she's better than Jan, right? Like, she's better than Jan in a flag. And I mean, we've always used Jan, right? We've always used Jan. Has Jan been as good as infantry garrisons? No. Why did the music stop? No idea. Has the music been off for a while? Sorry if it has been. I mean, we've always used Jan. The thing is, we've always used Jan. So if she's an upgrade to Jan, then we'll like continue to use her. Sneaky says, yeah, we have some strong cab garrisons, but they didn't do well this KvK. We had to rely on Gorgohera. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we'll be, you know, yeah. I probably said too much already, but... yeah, if that's the case, I will definitely be a sad panda. I will be a sad panda. Because I've just worked so hard on my one set, you know? I've worked so hard on my one set of cab gear. And so for it to like not be getting used all the time in Garrison, it would just be a bummer. But hey, I mean, everyone has something to complain about. Every troop type has something to complain about. Infantry can complain that their new infantry rally is not that good. Cav can complain that everything that they own can get swarmed. And archers can complain that Dyed O'Hara has no role in the meta. Sneaky says, you'll see yourself, but even if we have all calves maxed, I'm debating skipping her after seeing what happened. Yeah. 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 You know, it's like, at the end of the day, on some level, they do have to, like, balance the game for things other than, like, the cutting edge, right? Like, I would bet that Eleanor is, like, really good in a smaller kingdom, right? Because even Jan Hera was, like, really good against just rallies. Like, if you didn't swarm a Jan Hera at all, Jan Hera would do good against pretty much any rally. Like, it did good against Cav. Like, Jan Hera did good against cavalry. It was arguably the best against archers. You know, like, it was, and, you know, because Jan dispels Zug's attack buff, for example. And so, like, in smaller kingdoms where, like, there's not very much swarming, I can see where, like, Eleanor Hera will be like really, really good. But it's just like there's so much swarming at the high end that it just, like, the same variables are just not in play. So they might be building some commanders to be good in the smaller wars, but that aren't as relevant in the big wars. Which, I mean, fair enough. That's fair enough. It feels like they're like it feels like Lilith is like a little bit scared. Not scared, but it feels like Lilith is just like very much like chilling at the current power level. Like, we're just at this, we've been at the same power level for a while now. And they're just like tweaking it and like making like specialist things where like Eleanor's good in like passes and Ark of Osiris. You know, Gorgo's good in like high-end KvKs. Emilianus is good in as like a low, like small kingdom rallies where like it doesn't get swarmed. We're just like hovering around like the same area for like a long time now. And it's really Zug. To me, Zug is still like the most dynamic commander. For rallies, at least. I just think Zug is still the most dynamic commander because of that AoE. Especially when paired with like a Henry or an Asher. It's still the part of the game that's the most interesting, right? And I do think that the buff that Eleanor gives to nearby marches is interesting. Because I think there is a world where like you do fight underneath a flag. I mean, when I watched like 1093 and 960 fight in Zone 6, I feel like I watched a fair number of flag rallies where like there was a decent amount of open field fighting underneath the flag. And even in the 1079 Kingsland versus Omniarch's Kingdom, there was like a decent amount of fighting like right at the flag. And so I think like Zug is very interesting right underneath the flag. And I think Eleanor is very interesting underneath the flag as well. With this buff here, where you're giving 5% bonus damage to up to 5 nearby troops. And those troops are then buffing Eleanor as well. I think there's something interesting there for the future of the game. Where like maybe there's a world where like we do more fighting underneath flags. And I think we're probably gonna, yeah, I guess I don't want to say too much about this war, but I mean, what you need for that, what you need for like fighting underneath flags is you need like you need a even open field. You need it to where like neither side has like a huge advantage in the open field, And so therefore, like, both sides bring out their open field to contest what's happening. Yeah, that skill is great to swarm down rallies. Yeah, I mean, it procs pretty quickly. It procs after 3 seconds. Oh, no, it's 3 seconds after they use an active skill. Oh, for 3 seconds after they use an active skill. Okay. Yeah, so it procs pretty quickly. I don't know. I'm actually going to we're gonna do a Discord meeting with our alliance, and we're gonna watch some of Gains Gaming's stream fighting in KL, because I just thought that was like a very even fight. It was an even open field fight, and so I just think there were like some pretty interesting dynamics to look at there. And it's been a minute. It's been a minute since we were able to contest the open field. And I do think that in Wei G, we're going to be able to contest the open field here for sure. Because we're coming in hot. We're coming in hot with 1486. But anyway, I mean, it seems like the stream has slowed down, and that has caused me to give away more information than I wanted to give away. Which I believe is a sign for me to wrap things up. Appreciate everybody hanging out. I'm probably going to do more of these chaining streams in the future. Let me see if anybody else is streaming. I could potentially raid somebody if they are live. Doesn't really look like it. Doesn't look like anybody's live. But yeah, I do appreciate everybody hanging out. Stay tuned for a video or two over the next week, because I do have a bit of free time, so I'm going to make a couple videos. And in a war, or in a week, we will be going to war. We will have a very big war against Earth Camp. Dirty Dan's Kingdom. We'll be going against another YouTuber. Don't see myself live streaming much of it, but I will hopefully things will go well enough that I will sneak in one live stream. If you see me live streaming, it means that things are going well. But that's it for this one. Throw a like on the stream. Subscribe to the channel if you have not done so already. These are great ways to motivate me to continue making content. Thank you to everybody who hung out. Thank you for Algebra and Seba for your continued support. Thank you to Only Farmer for being in the chat. Thank you for some of my great teammates like HDT and Popo and Cherry Robin. Thank you for luminaries in the community like Alloys, Gosu, Only Farmer, and Sneaky for hanging out. As well as for everybody else who asked questions and made this more lively. So until next time, I will see you all on the flip side.